Ethiopia and France have been enjoying long-standing history of mutual friendship and cooperation, which started in 1907. The relationship further strengthened with the establishment of the Franco-Ethiopian Railway Company to resume the construction of a railway line that links Ethiopia to the sea. France's bilateral cooperation with Ethiopia has been focused on higher education and the teaching of French. French cultural, educational and research institutions, Lycée Gebremariem, Alliance Ethio-Française or French Center for Ethiopian Studies have been in Ethiopia for a long time. The establishment of the Lycée Gebremariem in 1947 further cemented the cultural relations between the two countries. The relationship between the two countries was further enhanced in various diplomatic and economic ties between the beginning of the 1960s and 1974. The two countries maintained strong relations which displayed by the numerous bilateral visits between the two states. The visit paid by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to France in October 2018 and the discussions he conducted with President Emmanuel Macron on bilateral issues had added more vigor to the relations between the two countries. During their discussion, the leaders of the two countries had issued a joint declaration that identified areas of bilateral cooperation. President Emmanuel Macron also paid visit to Ethiopia last week with the aim of further deepening the bilateral ties between the two countries. Upon his visit to Ethiopia, President Macron discussed with President Sahle-Work Zewde, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and the African Union Commissioner Moussa Faki Mohammed. He also visited the historic rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, along with Prime Minister Abiy. During his stay in Ethiopia, President Macron and Prime Minister Abiy have witnessed the signing of various agreements that aim to cement bilateral ties. The countries reinstated their commitment to jointly work on the restoration of the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela that consists 11 monolithic churches carved both inside and out from a single rock some 900 years ago, with their roof ground level.
We were
in Lalibela months ago to observe the dangers that the rock-hewn churches are facing, and we headed to Paris and invited the President of Ethiopia. So today he came to witness the problem and express his support for the renovation of the churches.
President Macron, on his part, said France will be with Ethiopia on the process of renovating the churches, which were inscribed by UNESCO as a World Heritage in 1978.
France wants to cooperate with Ethiopia in historical heritage conservation. This site is not only Ethiopian history, but also it is indicator of historic civilization, and this will be the field that beat us more together.
In the joint declaration they issued in October, the two countries identify that defense and security is among the main areas of their cooperation. According to the Ministry of Defense, currently Ethiopia is working to reinstate its naval force, which was disbanded for the past 30 years. Prime Minister Abiy recently announced that the government carried out massive reforms in the defense forces, and the cooperation with the government of France is expected to strengthen these reforms.
በቀጠናችን ባለው ሁኔታ ኢትዮጵያ ጠንካራ የመከላከያ ኃይል መገንባት ትፈልጋለች።
Ethiopia wanted to establish strong naval and air force in our region, so the President Macron and me signed a cooperation agreement to enforce this, and this will be other area that can be taken as a crucial bilateral relation that Ethiopia has with European countries.
In the Paris Declaration, it was stated that France welcomes the very positive role Ethiopia is playing within the United Nations and the African Union, especially in AMISOM, peacekeeping operations. Ethiopia and France support the co-financing by the African Union and the United Nations on a case-by-case basis of the African peacekeeping operations successfully authorized by the African Union Peace and Security Council and by the United Nations Security Council. At this time, the government of France has expressed its partnership on the process, and the President Macron confirmed his government's commitment to the Paris Declaration.
The security and defense agreement is quite different agreement because it's about strengthening the defense and security force of Ethiopia based on the Prime Minister's request during his France visit. So we are ready to cooperate with Ethiopia regarding the naval and air force. Always encourage Ethiopia's role in curbing terrorism in Eastern Africa.
የሰላም ማስፈን እና ሽብርተኝነትን የመከላከል ሚና መጠናከር ስላለበት ነው።
In the areas of economic cooperation, the two countries have agreed to boost their ties, especially by increasing French investors in Ethiopia.
ሶስተኛው የኢንቨስትመንት ትብብር ነው። በኢንቨስትመንት ትብብር
Our third area of cooperation is investment cooperation. Creating job opportunity is among the main options to decrease the number of unemployment in the country. So in this regard, President has told us that France wanted to engage in activities of creating job opportunity in Ethiopia. So that is why he has brought many investors with him during his visit.
Indicating that the French government welcomes the current reform in Ethiopia, such an opening ceremony to investors, President Macron said his government will provide 100 million euros in assistance to Ethiopia to support the reform program.
ኢኮኖሚን በተመለከተ አንድ አዲስ ምዕራፍ እየገለጥን ነው።
Regarding the economy, Ethiopia is now in a new chapter of economic development, so that the French government will support this economic reform, so that we will provide 85 million euro as a credit and 50 million euro as a donation to support the reform. We also welcome the effort to partially privatize huge government companies, so this is a new transformation. We believe that it is very valuable for our economic cooperation.
Transformation የኛን ትብብርና ድጋፍ ይጠይቃል ብለን እናምናለን።
The agreements signed between the two countries are expected to further enhance the age-long bilateral relationship and would promote the people-to-people relations.